welcome to another Chelsea chat. Boy, did I have to think long and hard about what to say here. Yesterday at Stamford Bridge, it was Chelsea 2, Arsenal 2. Arsenal coming back from 2-0 down. Now, there's a couple of things that are all over social media that I want to give my view on. First of all, Arsenal fans, seen that guy who looks like Forrest Whitaker after he's been in a car crash. Is it Arsenal Fan TV? Going on about Arsenal playing so poorly, yet Chelsea still couldn't beat them. I'll tell you something about Arsenal yesterday. They weren't allowed to play well. People like Cucurella, straight in on Saka early on. Saka didn't get a lot of change out of him all afternoon apart from that great ball. That still shouldn't have been a goal because Gusto should have got in front of Trossard. We hunted in packs in midfield. I've seen people on social media criticising Fernandes and Caicedo. Absolute melts, these people. They criticise the brain surgeon that had just saved their life. They are absolute melts, absolute cabbages, absolute rockets. The other thing is the handball. From my personal opinion, I remember the days when handball was either intentional or it stopped a goal scoring opportunity. Yesterday, forget the Gary Nevilles of this world who suddenly seem to be Arsenal supporters. Forget the Gary Nevilles, that was handball. But under any stretch of the imagination, I'll tell you for why. And I'm not even sure it was going in. But I'm also not 100% sure it was going wide. But he headed the ball goalwards. The hand stopped it. To me, that doesn't matter if it's intentional, if it's not in a natural position, or whatever. It was handball. It stopped a goal scoring opportunity. So I just wanted to get both those two things to bed. Arsenal weren't allowed to play well. That performance for at least 75 minutes was absolutely perfect from a tactical viewpoint. It was perfect from an effort viewpoint, and some of the football that we actually played reminded me of the Chelsea of old. Things are looking really, really good, and I've got to take my hat off. I wasn't a Poch fan. I didn't want Poch to get the job. But I tell you what, he's doing a sterling job, and he's doing it a lot quicker than I would ever have imagined was possible. People that watch, a few of you that watch these videos know that I said it'll be after Christmas before we see Chelsea make any sign of improvement. Well, that sign of improvement is here. Yesterday, the tempo was brilliant. As I say, we were hunting in packs, we looked hungry. I think Fernandes, just standing in the centre circle, looking down at the ground for a minute and a half after the final whistle, summed up the attitude of that Chelsea side now. They're hungry. Got a load of youngsters who are hungry. Do we still need an out-and-out centre forward? Yes, we do. Do we still need a world-class goalkeeper? Ideally. Although I'm not going to jump on this Sanchez bandwagon. These goalkeepers are told to play out. Watching Pochettino's after-game press conference, maybe he's going to have a word with him and say, look, 2-0 up, 77th minute, stick it in the stand. At least it takes time to get the ball back. It's just common sense. But if you're training all week and it's getting drilled into you, play out from the back, play out from the back, and the guy made a mistake, he's human. I've said all season that perhaps we need a world-class keeper. That's ideal, isn't it? We've had Benitez, we've had the Czechs, we've had the Courtois. So it would be ideal to have a world-class keeper. But, you know, up until yesterday, yeah, he's made a couple of mistakes. He's letting a couple of goals that maybe he shouldn't have done. But I think up until yesterday, he's been a big improvement on Kepa. Just my opinion. Let me know what you think, but just my opinion. Yesterday, disaster. An absolute disaster. To be honest, he looked nervy all game. And whilst I'm not sticking up for him, the weather conditions were absolutely awful, particularly for goalkeepers. Coming to claim that in the air, 10 times harder. Shots across the ground, 10 times harder. And I think, particularly at 2-0 up, he got particularly nervy. Professional goalkeeper, should they be like that? No, but the trouble is, they're human. And he looked nervy to me, and I think that woeful kick out was probably part of his mentality, because that should be in the stand, shouldn't it? Earlier on in the game though, he put a couple of balls up, he just kicked them long and they went nowhere. I was sat in front of the television when it was 0-0 thinking, what you done that for? You know, try and hit a player. It was a mistake. The second goal that Arsenal got, Gusto should have been in front of his man. Every day of the week, twice on Sunday. 19-year-old kid, and as a lot of us said, not those that want people sacked the morning after because they've made one mistake. Most reasonable supporters have said these kids are going to make mistakes. I've got more sympathy with Gusto than I have with Sanchez. Gusto just coming back into the side after 3 games out, suspended. A moment, lack of concentration from a 19-year-old kid. Yeah, it's not ideal. Yeah, we've got to cut it out, but you know what? I can understand it. Unfortunate after we played so well, but I can't get downhearted. I can't get downhearted. Yesterday I had the ump up to the eyeballs on the 90th minute. Last night I was going to do this vlog and I decided no, I'll do it in the morning once you've slept on it. And this morning I got up, I watched the game again. Do you know what? I'm quite proud. I'm proud of Pochettino for what he's building, which I couldn't see for the first 3 or 4 games. And I'm proud of every player on that pitch yesterday for their attitude. The goals, yeah, obviously I've already addressed the handball. Penalty every day, every night. But Cole Palmer stroked it in, effortless. I'm not going to cut this. Cole Palmer stroked it in effortlessly, calm under pressure. That lad is some player, top player. And the Mudryk goal, well, it looked like it was a pass. Well, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and it don't matter at the end of the day. It don't matter. It went in. At least we're Mudryk yesterday, by the way. He looked more of the part, didn't he? He looked more confident. I think that goal for the Ukraine in midweek maybe bumped his confidence up a bit. But yeah, it was what it was. There's other times we should have scored. Jackson should have scored yesterday, and maybe when Cole Palmer was through, a little back heel, easy for me to say, watching on telly, a little back heel to Gallagher, and he's got a shot on goal. So I'm going to go straight into the team scores. In goal we had Sanchez. I'm giving Sanchez a 4. He looked nervy for most of that game and he gave away an absolute howler. Do I want him sold in the morning? He's the worst goalkeeper ever in the history of the world. No, I don't, and no, he's not. But he did make a right clanger, and he didn't fill anyone with any degree of confidence yesterday, I didn't think. His distribution, which is normally a strong point, was absolutely awful yesterday. Maybe down to the weather conditions, but I think a lot of it was down to him being worried about the weather conditions. Right back, Gusto. Gusto gets a 7. He would have got an 8 if it hadn't been for that howler, letting Trossard get in front of him. A moment's lack of concentration, and again, it's cost us dear. But you are going to get it with young kids. He'll learn from that. I remember Reece James doing that a couple of years ago. I don't know if you do. I think it was a European game, or it could have been a Tottenham game. It was a glare. It was the same. It was exactly the same thing. I think it may have been a Tottenham game, maybe an Ericsson who got in front of him. I can't remember. You let me know if you remember it. But James done the same thing. Done it a couple of times, and then ever since then he's been covering like a world-class defender covers. Inside him, Thiago Silva gets a 9, and he gets my personal man of the match. Absolute beast yesterday. Calm, controlled, a couple of great blocks. Got a yellow card for stopping him just at the right moment. If you're going to give a yellow card away, do it professionally like that. I thought he was immense. His organisational skills, talking people through that. Captain leader legend, isn't he? Just inside him, we had Colwill. I thought he had a proper dodgy game, if I'm honest. Again, I don't know what studs he had in, but the amount of times he just swung at that ball, and 3, 4 times he swung at the ball, where it goes, no one knows. It was like watching a park player. He done some good things, but being back in his own position, I expected a lot more. A couple of really good blocks though, so I'm not going to score him down too far. And a young lad learning. I don't know what was wrong with him yesterday. Maybe the fact that he's been playing at left back and then put back at centre back. I don't know. But he gets a 5. Left back, Cucurella. Cucurella yesterday, and I've been his biggest critic. I wanted him sold. In fact, I didn't want him sold. I wanted him given him away. In fact, I would have actually paid someone to take him at the start of this season. That's how lowly I rated him. Yesterday, he gets an 8.5. I thought he was an absolute beast. I thought he had Saka in his pocket, all apart from 1 or 2 occasions, which with a great player like Saka is a pretty good job. Also, playing the ball forward, looks a lot more confident. Quite happy. If he stays at that level, quite happy for him to play at left back. In fact, if he stays at that level, Chile's going to have a job getting back in, which is the way it should be for a top team. In front of them, Caicedo. I've seen him getting stick from some people this morning. I don't know what game they watched, and especially watching it a second time. Immense. Lots of little tackles you don't even notice. Caicedo's going to get a 7.5 from me. Same as Enzo, 7.5. Lots of great work. Run his heart out. Defensively, offensively, good all-round game. Connor is going to get an 8.5 from me. Didn't really notice his contribution that much the first time. Wow, that boy covered some ground. Really on it yesterday. Nice little touches, nice passes, some brutal tackles, and he was just everywhere. I tell you, I'm so glad we wasn't sold, and I'm so glad that Poch didn't listen to people and the club didn't listen to people like me who thought he lacked that bit of quality. What he lacked is that little bit of coaching. When I think of all the armies of people that wanted him sold, particularly the anti-English ones, and he's sticking it up them the best way he possibly can, and that's on the pitch. Superb. Now, Sterling, yesterday gets a 7.5. I thought he was excellent, direct, but also doing his defensive duties, same as Mudryk was on the other side. He was also going to get a 7.5. I thought yesterday the coaching on Mudryk is obvious. He's a changed player. He'll get back and he'll cover, and he'll move into offensive positions with that super speed of his when needed. Sterling did the same thing on the right hand side. Excellent performances, direct, just what you want from Sterling. Good decision making as well, when to pass and when to go. And playing as a false number 9, of course, we had Cole Palmer, who 8.5, maybe even touching a 9, like it's only Thiago Silva, who for me I thought was just the man of the match in front of Cole Palmer. But what a player Cole Palmer is. He's integral to that team, to be honest. The little touches, the direct runs. I'll tell you what he does, what he's got over, say, Mason Mount, particularly last season, is that his decision making is good. He's a young man, he makes mistakes. A couple of times yesterday he made the wrong decision, but over the 90 minutes he's some piece of work, he really is. And that's it really. It was nice for Reece James to come back and have a little cameo. I wonder how long it is before he's injured again. But I think if Gusto learns from that, Reece is gonna have real good competition for that right back place. And I'll tell you what, when he's injured, it won't be such a loss in future as it has been in the past. Pochettino yesterday gets a 9. I thought he set us up brilliant. When I saw that team come out, I'll be honest, I said I would have put Badiashile in and kept Colwell at left back. Because as well as Cucurella's played at right back, I had no trust. But he sees these people in training. He knows what their level of confidence is like. He knows what their level of ability is like. And he trusted in Cucurella. And I'll tell you what, he won the lottery, didn't he? Because that was some performance. So what do I know? Not as much after these people on Twitter and Facebook, that's for sure. And certainly not as much as Poch, who gets to see these players all week, talk to doctors. I suppose they've got psychoanalysts and all sorts in today's day. Big difference from the old days of a few beers after the game. Okay, that's it really. I can't be downhearted because yesterday, I'll be honest, I was fearing a thrashing. And no, and I'll be honest with you, I can't see anyone thrashing us. Chelsea, not quite back yet, but certainly on the way. Let me know what you think, that's why I do these. Please subscribe to the channel, please throw the video a like, and I shall speak to you after Brentford. Up to Chelsea.